What's good, everybody? So today I'm going to do a video on how you can remix in Logic Pro X using the new feature that they have in the update 10.4. It's called Smart Tempo, and it's pretty dope, and it will help you remix things super quick. So let's just get started. I'm going to open up a new file by hitting New, and I'm going to open up one audio track. If you want to learn how to get going in Logic, I did another video, just like an intro to how you could start adding audio tracks and stuff like that. So check it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add two audio tracks. And the example that I was doing before I started recording was this Cardi B song. I'm using this for the instrumental, the 8-bar intro, and I was using Whitney Houston's acapella. I want to dance with somebody. So I'm going to add those two to my media browser. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to my project tempo where it says keep. I'm just going to click it, hit Smart Tempo Project Settings, and this window is going to pop up. I'm going to change keep project tempo to adapt project tempo. And I'm going to change set imported audio files on plus align bars and beats. And I'm going to click trim start of new regions, just so that if there's any empty space, it'll trim it, but always double check to make sure that it trimmed it correctly. So yeah, set new recordings. This is if you want to record live instruments, and yeah, so let's not even worry about that. So change your settings, adapt project tempo, on plus align bars and beats, and you can go ahead and close that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this Cardi B song onto my arrangement window, and it's going to analyze and it's going to spit out the BPM. So add it, and then it's going to bring up this window. Edit downbeat and tempo. Now, if you use Serato, I'm pretty sure this is like a beat grid editing function. So we're not going to get into this right now, but if you open it up, and I'm pretty sure like if anything is off, you can change where the downbeats are and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, it says it right here. So you could just read that and mess around, and that's whatever you want to do with that. But I'm not going to use it today. So it says that my BPMs are 138. So we just want to make sure that that's correct. So I'm going to turn on my cycle range just to make sure that it's in loop. So let's just play it. Good. So that's the right tempo. Now, remember what I told you about making sure that the beginning of the track is edited correctly so that it's, see, look at all that space. So you want to get rid of that, because if you leave that space there, even though that the loop sounded correct, when you start repeating the regions to make that loop longer, it'll start throwing off the tempo of the beat. That's why it's so important to make sure that you edit very precisely. So we know that this beat's on point, and I want an 8-bar intro for DJing purposes. So I'm gonna extend that right out to 8 bars. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on my audio region, set my playhead right there, and I'm going to cut it right there, or split the region. This is an audio region, by the way. And the way that I'm going to split this region is I'm going to use my shortcut, which is Command T, and it's going to cut it into two different regions. I'm going to get rid of the rest of the song because all I want is that 8-bar to go through. That's going to act as my instrumental. So I'm going to repeat it by clicking on the audio region, and I'm going to click Command R, which is my shortcut for repeating audio regions. And I'll just do it a couple times. So as I did it, it kept the tempo right through. So now I want to add my acapella. And I know that this acapella is maybe like it's somewhere between 118 BPMs and 121, I think, something like that. But it's definitely not 138, and it's definitely not a half of 138, like 69 BPM. So it would not mix on its own. It would have to, like, the tempo would have to be adjusted. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our project tempo here where it says adapt now. We're going to click it and we're just going to change it to keep. And then now I'm going to drag my acapella right on to the arrangement window. It's going to open up a new audio track automatically. And it's analyzing, meaning that it's trying to figure out, okay, well, what tempo am I trying to match to? So Logic is just basically matching this to this tempo. So again, we got that downbeat editor popping up. I don't need it. I'm going to check to make sure that the beginning of my track is nicely cut, and you can go right in. Like, you can zoom right into that. So that's good enough for me. So now I want to make sure that this song comes in correctly. So we have my 8-bar. That's going to give me my instrumental. And then after that, I want my song to kick in. So I'm going to put it right there because I think that's where it comes in nicely. Wrong. Came in a little too early. Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. So as you can see, the tempo of I Want to Dance with Somebody has now matched to the 138. And I know it sounds slow, but that's just because of the positioning of where the song's coming in. So I'm going to trim off a little bit more, and I'm just going to move that up a bit and see if that will fix that tempo. Fix it and clock strikes upon the hour. Clock strikes upon the hour, and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. Yeah, and well, to me that still sounds like it could inch up a little bit. It's got to get a little faster, so we got to start a little earlier. So I'm just going to do it in little increments because I want it to be as perfect as possible. Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out. Now, if you're like me, you're just crazy when it comes to everything being as perfect as possible. So I'm going to move it up a little bit more and see how that sounds. Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I'm gonna ride up till now. It's the light of day that... Well, I still want it to be a little bit faster. Clock strikes upon the hour. Clock strikes upon the hour, and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I'm gonna ride up till now. It's the light of day that shows me how. And when the night falls, loneliness comes. And this I'm gonna cut. So I'm just gonna show you how I'm gonna make this remix right till the end. So that comes in way too early. That doesn't. I mean, like, if you want your timing to be on, which I do. So. So that's how you create a remix. And if you follow, like, obviously, like, you're going to listen out to your whole track to make sure that it doesn't go off beat or whatnot. And if it does go off beat a little bit, you could always just cut it, you know, split the region. Like, let's say it started going off here a little bit. It was maybe too fast. Like, it came in too fast. So I'll split the region there, and I would just move it a little bit further out so that it gives it a little gap. So when it's changing, you know what I mean? So just to show you how you can make remixes and how you can make a song. Like I know with like those dudes that do the Indian remixes and stuff, like that's what they probably have to do because there's no quantization within, you know, live music. So, well, not that there isn't, but you know, making electronic music compared to using live instruments, there's always going to be something off a little bit. So, anyways, so that's how you do a remix using the smart tempo feature. And you know, I never showed you how to save anything from the last one. So the way to save this, let's say that we made this whole thing. I'm just gonna finish it. So I'm just gonna repeat this region right over. And so let's say that's our whole track. So what we want to do, I'm gonna close my global track settings because I don't even know why it's open. So I'm gonna click on my cycle range, and I'm gonna extend it right to the end of my track. And basically by doing that, when I'm saving my track as an MP3, I'm telling Logic to basically bounce. That's what they call it in Logic when you save it as an audio file or as an MP3 or WAV or whatever. It's called bouncing your project. I don't even know why it's called that, but so when you're bouncing your project, you're basically telling Logic to bounce everything that's not muted and everything within this cycle range. So what I would do is, so once I have that all selected, and you know, you want to make sure that it's right on the end there and right on the beginning. And I'm going to go up to File, Bounce, Project or Selection. I'm going to choose MP3. Usually it's set to PCM, but I was using this earlier. So set it to MP3. These are the settings that I have it at. You can mess with it. I don't really know too much about bit rates and stuff, except for that I know that it's higher quality with 128 and 320. So that's what I use. If you want to put an ID tag on it, hit right ID3 tags, ID3 settings. So I'm just going to put, what would this be called? Let's see. Wanna dance with somebody. Cardi remix. Or put Bartier mashup. You can put the artist. I usually just put whoever it is. So Whitney Houston featuring Cardi B and me, bitches. So yeah. So that way, when you do this too, and you save it, now if you want to send your remixes out, or you want to send them to like MP3 pools or record pools to be downloaded, this is where you would put all the information so that when they throw it in their Serato or in their DJ program, it'll be set up for them. So I actually like to do this too, under album. You know, promote yourself, whatever. Click OK. Click OK again. Now it's going to ask you where you want to send it. I'm going to send it to like my mixes in here. And I'm just going to title it again. Dance with somebody. Now, when you change the title here, this is not going to show up in Serato. When we did the ID3 tags, that's what will show up in Serato. So this doesn't really matter. It just helps you identify it wherever you put it. I want to dance with somebody, Bartier. And I'm going to save that in my folder, Junkie Mixes, bounce it, and it's going to go through. And it's going to convert it to an MP3. And it should be saved, and I'll go to that file right now. So it's on my desktop. Junkie Mixes. I want to dance to somebody. So it's right here, and let's just sample it. So this is a long intro, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to shit. And the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. yeah, so that's how you remix using the smart tempo feature in Logic. Now, I'm like super new to this. I just started playing around with it today. So as I figure out more stuff and whatnot, like I'll do more videos. But yo, respect to everybody who's been watching them. And if there's anything that you want me to show you how to do, please hit me up, and I have no problems doing it. Especially if I already know how to do it. So yeah, link me. Cool. Thanks. Peace.